A sitcom staple is headed to prison, plus an Oklahoma family honored at the nation's capital, and President Trump speaks to the UN. This is OU Nightly.
This is a very important day. Judgment Day has come.
His Hollywood career and good guy image in ruins. The man who played Dr. Huxtable heads to prison in handcuffs. Thanks for joining us on OU Nightly. I'm Kelsey Hovanetz.
And I'm Cal Day. Bill Cosby, known by many as America's dad, was sentenced to prison today for drugging and sexually assaulting a woman.
The punishment makes him the first celebrity of the Me Too movement to be sentenced for his crime. Here's what we know about this breaking story. The judge declared Cosby a sexually violent predator who must undergo counseling for the rest of his life in addition to his prison sentence. He'll have to serve at least 3 years before he's eligible for parole.
Two women who accused Cosby of sex crimes rejoiced at the news, hugging each other in the courthouse hallway. Andrea Constant is the woman at the center of this case, and Janice Dickinson is another woman who accused Cosby. While they embraced, Cosby's defense team and publicists were already planning an appeal.
We have now learned and will prove that Bill Cosby was denied his right to a fair trial because the DA of Montgomery County, Kevin Steele, used falsified evidence against him.
Cosby is 81 years old and legally blind, details his lawyers used to try for house arrest instead of prison time.
Sex crimes take center stage here in Oklahoma as the state is slowly closing in on a complete picture of just how many rape kits remain in evidence rooms. OU Nightly's Harlee Toothman tells us how advocates plan to combat these increasing numbers.
A year and 4 months have passed since Governor Mary Fallin signed this executive order stating that law enforcement agencies across the state need to report their number of sexual assault forensic evidence kits.
Since a May 31st deadline set by a statewide task force that has been examining the backing of untested rape kits, 63 additional law enforcement agencies have reported back about their numbers of untested rape kits. That leaves a total of 57 agencies across the state that have not responded based on figures provided by the Oklahoma Attorney General's office. Some advocates who are upset by the large number of untested rape kits in the state and frustrated by the pace at which things are moving are calling on state leaders to do more.
A lot of victims are pretty upset. You know, pop culture tells us that you come in, you get a kit done, within an hour you'll know results of, who the perpetrator is, where he is, all this kind of stuff. So when they come in and find out what the reality is, that can be pretty upsetting.
The task force has estimated it could cost anywhere from about $9.5 million to $12 million to test the unsubmitted kits, depending on whether the state opted to conduct an in-house analysis at forensic labs or chose to outsource the testing. Amanda Kemp, a sexual assault forensic nurse, said she would like to see immediate action taken to start addressing the untested kits.
To really get to the bottom of how many kits are there, why they haven't been tested, and to come up with reasons and a plan to make the system better. And I think that we owe it to our community to do a better job.
Oklahoma does not have the resources to test all of the previously unsubmitted kits at once, so the task force has discussed ways to potentially prioritize which kits should be tested first, as well as come up with one universal rape kit statewide.
And that is one thing that the task force really identified, is they want to have one standardized kit for the whole state. And so right now we have 3 different kits. This one here is an Oklahoma City Police Department kit. There also is a Tulsa kit, just for Tulsa PD, and then every other kit from around the state would be OSBI kit.
Advocates say they want the task force to come up with funding to test rape kits that would allow suspects to be identified and cases to be solved. Harlee Toothman, OU Nightly.
Citizens can donate to end the backlog of rape kits at endthebacklog.org.
To the nation's capital now, and today's developments in the case of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Abby Green tells us there are still questions about the additional women who have come forward. Abby?
As Kavanaugh's hearing approaches, both parties are still unsure if the new allegations will be discussed. Senate Judiciary Chairman confirmed today that the committee hired another counsel to further question Kavanaugh along with his accuser. Christine Blasey Ford, who accused Kavanaugh of sexual assault in 1980, continues to object the decision for a counsel. Emails from Ford's lawyers have confirmed that Grassley hired a prosecutor for the counsel to investigate at the hearing. Despite Ford agreeing to the hearings, her lawyers are continuing to question the counsel. And President Trump addressed world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly today. This was the president's second address to the international body to emphasize his commitment to the policies and convictions in the past year. Trump defended his position on the trade war and advocated his diplomatic engagement with China and re-emphasized the rejection of globalism. While Trump has accelerated his policies around the world, his address showed that his worldviews remain constant. And Cal Dunkin' Donuts announced that starting next January, the company will be changing its name to Dunkin'.
All right, thank you, Abby. And fall is here and the temperatures still seem pretty toasty.
Meteorologist Trey joins us with an update on a cool down.
Yeah, guys, we've got major changes on the way across Oklahoma. Here's a cold front, a very strong cold front. It's making its way across the state, clearly visible on a temperature map where the dark orange here meets this lighter orange and this yellow. That's where the cold front is, and temperatures are significantly cooler behind it. 78 degrees in Elk City. Temperatures are already falling. Our site in Woodward is not reporting at the moment, but temperatures are cooler there. 72 degrees in Guymon compared to 80s and 90s across the state. Here's the remainder of this evening as we head into tomorrow morning. Temperatures will be in the 50s as we wake up, and here are the headlines. Rain and storms possible on a much cooler Wednesday. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thank you, Trey. Family, friends, and fellow journalists are mourning the death of Oklahoma television pioneer Pam Henry today. Henry was the first woman to be hired as a television reporter in Oklahoma City. Henry was a graduate of the University of Oklahoma and was set to be honored as a Gaylord College Distinguished Alumni in a ceremony on October 12. She was inducted into the Oklahoma Journalism Hall of Fame in 2004. Our thoughts are with her family and friends tonight. And the McAllister family is at the nation's capital. Find out why they're being honored.
Plus, details on an advanced NASA satellite set to activate later this week when OU Nightly continues.
An Oklahoma couple says their family is finally whole after an adoption drama stretching from Oklahoma to Ethiopia. As Storme Jones reports from Washington, the Belt family from McAllister is being honored at the nation's capital following the nearly 6-year struggle of finding their daughter.
Of the 4 million orphans, it was the exact kid that belonged to us.
Lloyd and Kelly Belt found now 3-year-old Addie in Ethiopia in the summer of 2015, but that was only the beginning of the story, not the end. They encountered obstacle after obstacle to bringing their adopted daughter to Oklahoma. Finally, 2 years later, only after a powerful Oklahoma senator intervened, parents and adopted daughter are now together.
And she had a lot of health complications in that time, and so it's really hard to be a mom from across the ocean.
Tuesday, they met with Oklahoma Senator Jim Inhofe as part of a trip to Washington, where they're being honored as Oklahoma's Angels in Adoption by a congressional coalition for adoption. But this week's trip wasn't the Belts' first trip to the Capitol. Over the long process, they came to Washington to reach out to Inhofe for help, and they say he delivered.
He advocated unbelievably behind the scenes for us and hundreds of other adoptive families who were stuck.
You go to countries where people, if they are left outside, most of them don't even live, leave alone have a fruitful life. And so good things are happening.
Lloyd teaches history in McAllister Public Schools. He says by the time it's all said and done, getting Addie to Oklahoma cost 1.5 years worth of his teacher's salary. But he says it was worth every penny.
So that is an amazing transformation of what a family can do for a little girl. And then what she's done for us is just, it's life-changing. Not just for her, but it's life-changing for us.
Storme Jones, OU Nightly, Washington.
Thanks, Storme. Well, NASA has recently launched a satellite that will measure Earth's melting ice. Sammi Steele joins us now in the Science franchise. Sammi, how accurate will this satellite be?
Kelsey, NASA says ICESat-2 will have unprecedented accuracy using an advanced laser system. The satellite will measure the changes in Earth's polar ice caps so scientists can better understand how the ice melting affects the ocean's atmosphere. The tool will be able to record height change in ice sheets within the width of a pencil. The satellite, which launched in California September 15th, is currently being tested and will activate sometime this week. Sir Michael Atiyah, one of the world's most renowned mathematicians, says he solved a 160-year-old math problem worth, wait for it, $1 million. Yesterday, Atiyah presented a lecture that proposed a solution to the Riemann hypothesis. Mathematicians in the crowd live tweeted the event. To solve the hypothesis, you need to find a way to predict the occurrence of every prime number, even though prime numbers have historically been regarded as randomly distributed. If Atiyah's solution's confirmed, he will claim the $1 million reward from Clay Mathematics Institute of Cambridge. And Cal and Kelsey, if you've noticed a lack of honeybees buzzing around this year, a popular weed killer may be to blame. Yesterday, researchers from the University of Texas published a report stating glyphosate, an active ingredient in weed killers like Roundup, is leaving honeybees more susceptible to infection and death. In the study, bees that came in contact with herbicide glyphosate had lower levels of healthy gut bacteria, which helps them digest food and ward off sickness. In the study, only a tenth of the bees affected by glyphosate survived. Now, this study raises questions on whether or not glyphosate is okay for humans too. In August of this year, a company behind the weed killer Roundup was ordered to pay $289 million to a groundskeeper who died from terminal cancer.
I remember hearing about that court case and honeybees.
$289 million.
Honeybees really important for everything, so
good for everyone.
That's right. Well, thank you, Sammi. And week 3 of the NFL season is in the books. Find out if Fitzmagic ran out of luck.
And Trey Bell has more on rain chances.
Yeah, guys, we have a rain chances possible this evening as well as much cooler temperatures tonight. I'll have more on that coming up in Maine Weather. Hey guys, welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Trey Bell. Here is a view from our river cam at the Boathouse District downtown. Look at traffic flowing nicely in the background. Here's Lincoln Boulevard. Behind that is I-40 as we approach this rush hour. So we do have a cold front in the state. Some interesting colors here on reflectivity, but still the cold front still clearly visible. Here it is moving southeast across the state. Some showers and thunderstorms also developing further to the northeast along the front in Kansas, and some of those may affect us later. More on that in just a second. Here is the winds by 6 o'clock this evening. Notice northerly in the blue, southerly in the red, this yellow where they meet, and watch as they move to the southeast. Wind speeds also increasing out of the northwest, and this will continue to move across the southeast, and by tomorrow morning as we're waking up, the entirety of the state engulfed by northeasterly winds, and temperatures will be much cooler. Look at this, still sustained, gusting higher, sustained at 15 miles per hour. So it will be chilly in the morning for sure. So here those winds continue. By tomorrow afternoon, we'll start to calm down. Here's the cold front positioned from southwest to the northeast. As this moves to the southeast, could have a few of those showers and thunderstorms develop down into Norman. Big story though, however, is showers and thunderstorms in southwestern Oklahoma and northwestern Texas throughout the day tomorrow. But as we head into Wednesday night and Thursday morning, those skies clear, winds calm, and that rain dries out. So future rainfall, how much rain will we see from this? Not much. Higher totals in the southwest, but not very high totals elsewhere. Temperatures tomorrow, 60 for a high here in Norman, and then as we continue, temperatures much cooler than today. This is our first real taste of fall after this powerful cold front moves through. Evening planner tonight, spotty showers will be possible, 65 by midnight. Low tonight, 52, so listen to that. Day planner, high of 60 tomorrow by midday, high temperature of 60, and then that 2-day forecast, cloudy with rain, 7-day forecast. So cold front is the main story, guys, and it will be much cooler tonight and tomorrow than it was today.
Well, thank you, Trey. Well, fast food chain Sonic was bought today by Inspire Brands, owner of Arby's and Buffalo Wild Wings. Sonic sold for $2.3 billion, and the deal is expected to close by the end of the year. The Oklahoma City-based chain will continue to operate as a separate business unit with the same management team as before.
And the Sooners host their conference home opener this weekend.
Parker Thune is here with more.
Yeah, Cal and Kelsey, the Sooners are preparing to host Baylor this Saturday after a close game last year. And after his tour championship victory, can we expect Tiger Woods to keep winning? That and more right around the corner. Stay tuned. Sports is next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Parker Thune, and it's time for a glimpse into the world of sports. We begin right here in Norman. After scares from Iowa State and Army, the Sooner football team won't be sleepwalking into this weekend's matchup with Baylor, especially after an overmatched Bears squad nearly upset OU last year in Waco.
Tough, exciting game with them down there last year. You know, they're going to bring an explosive offense. I think a much improved defense here to Norman on Saturday.
Meanwhile, the OU women's basketball team is currently wrapping up their first open practice of the new season. The Sooner ladies are off to a 16-15 campaign that culminated with a first-round loss in the NCAA tournament. Stay with OU Nightly throughout the week as we look ahead to the coming season. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are finally in the win column after hanging on for a Monday night victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And tackling Vance McDonald is not for the faint of heart. The Steelers tight end made the catch over the middle and manhandled Tampa safety Chris Conti on a 75-yard touchdown catch. Despite not scoring in the second half, Pittsburgh able to hold off a furious late rally from Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Bucs. They win 30-27. Turning now to the MLB, a remarkable turnaround is complete, and the American League postseason field is set. The Oakland Athletics secured the final AL playoff spot last night after the Tampa Bay Rays dropped out of contention with a loss. The A's lost 87 games last year and had the lowest 2018 opening day payroll, yet here they are, poised to play in October. Now enough talking about what's already happened. Let's turn to the aptly named Sydney Forsee as she looks to the future. Sydney?
Thanks, Parker. This past week was huge for football, but it made my predictions for this next week that much better. I foresee after the Sooners' close-knit win over Army last Saturday, I am predicting that OU football will have a blowout win over the Baylor Bears this upcoming weekend. The defense may struggle to hold the Baylor's strong passing game for a bit, but I foresee the Sooners taking the win in the end. And my NFL prediction for this week revolves around former OU quarterback Baker Mayfield. Taking last week's momentum from the Browns matchup against the New York Jets, I foresee the starting rookie quarterback will lead Cleveland to another win over the Oakland Raiders. The game will be a close matchup, but the Browns will take the win in the end. And I foresee a very good season for Tiger Woods on this next year's PGA Tour. His win this weekend will give him the drive to stay on top of the leaderboards this next season, and come April, you might just see Woods pick up another major by winning the Masters. And that's what I foresee in sports right now. Now back to you, Parker.
Thank you, Sydney. And the Philadelphia Flyers have a new mascot. There he is. His name is Gritty, and whoa, boy, he takes a spill. Clearly, he's new to the whole ice thing. Good recovery, though, as he displays some nice snow angel technique there. Take a look at him from the front, though. That'll give you nightmares. Wow. I just want to know who in the Flyers organization decided, you know what, we're going to okay this. Let's go ahead with this new mascot.
That's awesome. The name Gritty really just fits the description of that mascot.
Does it, though?
I mean, kind of looks like me when I wake up in the morning, not going to lie.
Yikes.
Oh, boy.
Thank you, Parker.
Well, an Oklahoman honored today in an amazing way.
Stick around to see the view from 400 miles away.
I'm Candace Coonrod at the Update Desk. Good news for the University of Oklahoma. Giving Day amounts are already higher than last year. The annual fundraiser benefits students with scholarships and additional degree programs. A website tracking donations shows the states where donors live. Last year, $179,000 were raised, but at last check, the amount donated today topped $329,000. That's it for now. Back to you, Cal and Kelsey.
All right, thanks, Candace. A 10-acre cornfield in the state is cut to honor Oklahoma native and former NASA astronaut Thomas Stafford. The maze, located in Weatherford, which is just west of Oklahoma City, is cut to resemble Stafford.
A satellite photographed the tribute from its orbit in space. The maze was created in partnership with the Stafford Air and Space Museum, which is also named in his dedication.
And that is really interesting. You know, someone that deserves a corn maze is meteorologist Trey Bell.
Yes. Oh, I'm honored. That would be something, wouldn't it? What else is something is that you can actually see cold fronts on radar when they're really strong. We can actually look at that now on reflectivity. So the darker colors of green and yellow, that's actually a cold front picking up bugs and dust and debris and bringing them aloft in the air, and the radar is actually picking them up. So that's a really cool feature that you can see.
That's awesome. That's awesome what you can pick up and see on there.
It is really cool. Just the tiny things that it can get.
That's right. Thank you, Trey. And thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night, live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.